So starting off with arguably the biggest game of the weekend, Wimbledon take on arch rivals MK Dons. Now, I would love for Wimbledon to win this game. I think that they are the proper club in this rivalry, but I just can't see it happening. Been on a really poor run of form recently, and MK Dons seem to have come into their own at the right time for this match. So I think the away side are going to win the 1-2-0. Next up, Crawley versus Barrow. Obviously, Crawley could move into the playoffs with a win here today. As for Barrow, they are in desperate need of getting 3 points again. And do you know what? I'm going to go with the same score as I did for the last game. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win. And again, for the away side, I think Barrow, just something's going to click. I don't know what it is, but I just think they're going to need to get a win at some point, and it's going to come on Saturday. As for Crawley, they could go and win it. I wouldn't be surprised. They've had a really impressive season by all accounts. And like I said, I've been very impressed with them. And no matter what happens for the rest of the season, they've had a good one. Next up, we have Wrexham versus Accrington Stanley. Now, Wrexham have been really poor over the last couple of months. They've seen themselves have a really good foothold into that automatic promotion spots, go right down the drain, and now they're looking like they're going to be settling for the playoffs. As for Accrington Stanley, haven't really noticed them much this season. They're just sort of chilling around mid-table. So I think this game is going to be very tight, though, because, like I say, Wrexham haven't been very good. So I'm going to go with a 0-0 draw here, a bit of a boring one for the neutral. Now, next up we have Tranmere versus Sutton. Sutton have had two really good results on the backs now, where last time out they beat Notts County in a 7-goal thriller. Obviously the week before that I was at the game when they drew 1-1 with Colchester, but from what I saw they completely dominated the game and they shouldn't be where they are. And I think they're going to get another win here. It'll be a massive result for them if they do, and it's going to get even closer to escaping the drop. Tranmere have been a decent side. Obviously got that famous win against Stockport not too long ago, but I am going to go with a 1-0 win for the away side. Next up we move over to the county ground, and this game has draw written all over it. Neither side can really get a win. Obviously Harrogate got a win a couple of matches ago, but they're not really putting any consistency together. They've had 2 losses in a draw since then. I'm going to go with, like I said, a 2-2 draw, a decent game, but neither one's going to walk away with all 3 points. Next up we have Salford, and they take on Gillingham. Now Salford had a decent run going, but it seems to have come to a grinding halt. However, back at home I think they can produce something quite special. Obviously Gillingham, they've been alright this season, but I think they're going to struggle. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win to the home side, and a desperate need of a 3-point game. This could be huge for them. Now next up we go to Rodney Parade, where Newport County have looked pretty hot and cold recently. Mansfield looked very good, and they look like they were on the charge to get back up, and where they were at the start of the season, which is at the top of the table and staying there and creating a bit of a gap for themselves. Now I think they're going to continue this good run of form that they're on. Obviously dropping points not too long ago, but they seem to have bounced back and they look like they're going to go and get another win here. Like I say, it'll be a very close game. I'm going with a 5-goal thriller, a 3-2 win to the Stags. Now over to Grimsby versus Forest Green Rovers. Forest Green Rovers getting a very impressive result against the struggling Wrexham side on Tuesday night. Grimsby, on the other hand, they've looked pretty poor again this season. I can't see either side winning this game. I am going to go with another ball draw, 0-0 result. Now over to Crewe versus Morecambe. Crewe have been one of the most informed teams in 2024, and as of late, they're looking like they're making that automatic promotion charge, capitalising on Wrexham's fall off. As for Morecambe, a couple of weeks ago they were looking alright, pulling a few wins back to back, but they seem to have dropped off again recently, so I'm going to predict a pretty heavy win for the home side. I'm going to go with a 3-0 win to Crewe Alexandra. Now on to the penultimate game, where Colchester seem to be the draw specialists and Stockport are coming into that category now. I think it's going to be another draw. Colchester, under Danny Cowley, they're playing a lot more progressive football. However, I think their issue they've got at the minute is not brilliant on the ball, and when they're trying to play out from the back, they're very susceptible to that high press. Sutton capitalised on it a couple of times when they played against them, but against a side that can put a few goals past them, they're going to struggle. But as of late, Stockport haven't been doing that, so I think they are going to escape with a 1-1 draw. Now for the final game over at the Valley Parade, where Bradford take on Notts County. Notts County look really poor, obviously losing to Sutton in midweek. Bradford, they're doing alright. I'm going to predict a home win here, and for the final time, I'm going to go with a 2-0 win to Bradford. Now on to the actual last game, Walsall versus Doncaster. I completely forgot about this when making the video. So this was filmed about 10 minutes before it's coming up. But anyway, I am going to go with a home win here. I think Walsall are going to have a bit too much for Doncaster. Doncaster have not had a really good season this season. To be fair, neither have Walsall, but they both are going to be fine come the end of the year. I am going to go with a Walsall win, like I say. I'm going to go with a 3-1 home win.